Hey, welcome back to Poor Pete's. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about finishing the bow that we started working on. First off, I want to tell you that I messed up. In making this bow, I wanted to show very easily how you can not have a perfect piece of wood and you can be able to be successful and make a bow and overcome a lot of different issues. And what I forgot completely about is all the bends and jiggity jaggities, as one guy called it. They make it very hard to tiller. And when I got to the tillering process, I tried making that video and I tried to make it easy, and with everything, I just kiboshed the whole thing. So I'd like to show you how I finished the bow. And lately I've been working quite a few hours, and man, I've been putting in the work. So whether home or at work, I've been just super busy. So I apologize for that, but these videos are many times are going to be just seasonal, and when I can get to them, I'm going to get to them, and when I can't, I can't, and I apologize for that. If you don't like that, then I'm sorry, but that's all I'm willing to be able to do. So let's get back to this bow. So this bow I was making for a friend of mine. It's his bow wood, and very good bow wood, except it had cracks on the front. And as you remember, I put crazy glue, nice soft liquid crazy glue, seep down inside there and firm up. And I wanted to build this bow a lot lighter because of the waves and bends in it, and because of the cracks. So I was shooting for a 30 to 35 pound bow. This bow is exactly 30 pounds at 29 inches. Even though I've pulled it back to 31, I just decided that an even number, 30 pounds, is at 29, but I always pull it back a little bit further than what I'm going to be drawing. My friend's draw weight is 28 and a half. So let's look at this bow. So this bow is, as one guy called it, jiggity jaggedy, and I think that's the best way to describe it. So I even heat bent it, but when I heat bent the bow, I was just getting it to correct string alignment, so that when this bow shot, that the string favors one side of the bow. So it sits, if you look at it when the string's pulled, it sits right about there, so it favors this side of the bow, so it's more beneficial for shooting an arrow right off that side of the bow. So that's what I did. So I basically, once I start tillering this bow, and the reason why it's so hard to show you the tillering is when you've got all these bends and everything like that, you have to basically average it out with your eye. That some are going to bend a lot more, but it's already bent, and some are going to bend a lot less because it's bending the other way. So you have to average out that line and tiller that, and that's a lot harder than tillering a bow. And tillering a bow, if you're starting off bow making, and by no means am I a professional, but tillering is really hard. You just go a little too deep in one area when you first start. You got to take the whole bow down to that, you know, or else you're going to create that strong hinge, and you're gonna regret it. You know, there's this balance in bow making with you want to remove that wood as fast as you can and get to a certain point, but once you get to a certain point, and this is where a professional bow maker really knows his wood that he likes working with and his bow style a lot of times, then he knows immediately from this point, I need to start going really, really, really slow in that final finish. And it's that balance in life that we see all the time. So this bow has a nice taper to it, nice soft taper. Makes it real easy for the way that I make strings. I make one loop on top, and I make a knot on the bottom. This knot is actually a timber hitch knot. So I always leave this part tied onto the bow, and I leave this side able to be slid. Sometimes if it's a wider, like a paddle bow or something like that, I have to slide this side, but I always like keeping the string on the bow so I don't have a bunch of strings laying around rolled up and I forget which one goes to which, because this string is the perfect length with this knot for this bow to brace it. Brace height is that where when you set it, the string's right here. So this is finished with some sandpaper, and I just kind of smoothed it out, not rounded the edges. And then the nocks, I decided to do something a little different, and I took that chainsaw file and I just kind of cut a groove in it. So if you can see that, and then we'll just slowly rotate that. The shoulders where that string sets, those are at an angle. Those are at an angle. So and then this center part, just having some fun right there. But you can see those shoulders are at an angle. You always want to make sure to kind of complement the string when it's strung. So let's string this real quick. Boy, is it hot. It's starting to warm up today. So this is the nocks strung right here. You can see that. Both nocks are the same on both sides. So 30 pounds at 29. This is fairly easy to pull. Fun bow for just going out target shooting and stuff like that. And my buddy, he's been getting into bow fishing. So what better than a nice bow to take out? And this string's made out of Dacron B50. And I chose that just actually in case if he bow fishes, because lately I've been making what do you call it? Natural strings. I made a gut string out of intestines. I made a sinew string, and I've made a fiber string. I haven't made a flax string yet, but I've made a hemp string, and it turned out really good. So yeah, so that's the finishing of this bow. I put a rawhide handle on there just to kind of some place to put the arrow to make it a little quieter while you're pulling, some place to indicate. I put my letters right here where it says the date and also the pull weight and the pull length, and that just helps you. Oh, this is the top of the bow if you forget. So you know, this bow with how wavy and bent this stuff is, it's funny because when you go to pull it, this handle is a little bit. You can see this handle is a little bit. If I put the handle square like that, you see how it cants the bow. So this handle is just like a little tweaked, but when you pull that string back, this side with the arrow just sucks up to your hand, and it just feels great. And then you just let it go. And my son was shooting it, and I was like, hey, you want to shoot this bow? And he's like, no. I was like, come on, shoot it. So he started shooting it, and he's like, Dad, that bow shoots better than what I thought. So yeah, so that's the end. So I wanted to show you a lot more on this bow in the making of it, but we're gonna have to just do it on another bow. And I hope you enjoyed these videos. I enjoyed making them.